Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the WPS podcast. That is Why People Suck. I'm Celia, and I'm joined by my co host, best friend, and sister.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be back for another episode where we call out all the ways people are super annoying and talk about what we can actually do about it. We say it so you don't have to. Today, we're talking about toxic positivity. So, basically, the way that I think of toxic positivity is like people who can't let you be sad ever or upset or like basically having any other human emotion besides happiness is illegal to them. That's how I see it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's those people who never allow you to feel sadness or grieve because they expect everyone to always have a positive outlook on everything, even if you're going through it emotionally or if you're in physical pain and things like that. So, yeah, that is what it means to me too.
It honestly, it makes me so mad. It's so annoying because like you can't it's not realistic to be the type of person that is like sunshines and unicorn and whatever all the time and rainbows and butterflies. It's just like sometimes you're just mad at the world and that's okay. Like you're allowed to be mad and you're allowed to have the emotions and you're allowed to work through them. Like that's why you have like, when you're grieving, you have like the 5 stages of grief. I feel like that's how it is with basically every emotion. Like you have certain steps that you have to get through. Like if you're angry, you have to go through like certain steps to get through the angry part and then just accept that it has happened. But you're not going to start with acceptance. That's always the last step.
Yeah. I just think that some people always come back to you with things like, "Oh, but other people have it worse," or "At least you have a job." Like, if you're complaining about difficulties at work or whatever, like, they can never just let you complain.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hate when people say that to me and they're like, well, at least you have a job. It's like, okay, I hate my life, but sure. Yeah, at least I have a job. Cool. Like, that doesn't help the situation. Like, if you're miserable, you're miserable. It's not like, oh, but thank God I have a job. And I'm sure like lots of people are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you're complaining about having a job. Like some people would love to have a job and like just have any sort of money. It's like, yeah, I'm sure some people would, but that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to be unhappy with my job if I am?
Yeah, that is exactly what toxic positivity is, if that is what someone who is listening is feeling. Because we all have different, reactions to things too, and I think minimizing people's emotions, maybe something might not seem like the end of the world to us, like, we think about it even with age, like, therapists who talk to teenagers, like, the problems teenagers have are not a big deal, but to them, they feel like a lot.
Yeah.
And the point is that you're there to listen and to provide like a shoulder to cry on and validate those feelings, you know? You can definitely help and give advice if that's what they want. But sometimes people just need to complain and be allowed to feel those negative feelings because it's part of being human. If you're just positive all the time, like something's wrong with you, you need to learn to deal with your emotions.
Yeah. It's not wrong to be sad or angry or frustrated. And actually that's a really good point that you bring up about like therapists with teenagers. Like I try to bring myself to the mentality of my kids too. Like I have little kids or 5 and 3 years old. So obviously to them when something happens that is absolutely earth-shattering and devastating to me is like, dude, that's not that big of a deal. But I really do try to be like, okay, tell me why this is such a big deal to you because I obviously don't see it that way, but I do try to be like, okay, I understand that, your brother taking your toy from you is the end of the world right now. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that. And I'm sorry that happened. And that's how it should be. You should really just try to do that with everybody. Like, even if you don't necessarily find this issue to be the earth shattering issue like it is for somebody else, doesn't mean that it's not.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's like these people are just like refusing to acknowledge that reality is a thing. Like, I don't know, like to me, that's why life is so beautiful, right? Because you have the ups and the downs. It's not always going to be up, and hopefully, it's not always going to be down. Because if you don't have the lows and you don't appreciate the highs, and like that is really true. Like when, like for example, I think the quickest thing I can think of is like when you're sick, like you really don't appreciate when you're healthy, but then when you're sick, you really appreciate being healthy. And then as soon as you're feeling better again, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I'm feeling better again. You know, it's kind of like that. So I think it's good to have low moments in your life and like be angry and be frustrated because then when you're happy, you
Yeah.
can really truly appreciate being happy and like content.
Yeah, totally.
You know what other thing really irritates me when people say something, when you say something and they're like, "Oh, everything happens for a reason." That is another one that really just makes me want to throat punch you. Everything happens for a reason? Not really. I mean, maybe in the grand scheme of things, sure, there was a purpose for you, like, I don't know, breaking your leg or something, but it's like sometimes bad things just happen and there's no good reason other than bad things happen and that's it. Like, I just really hate that everything happens for a reason. It really angers me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hate that too because even if that reason is good eventually, like right now, I am suffering and I just want to be upset and I want to be mad. And I don't want you minimizing my feelings and invalidating how I feel in the moment. Like, that also makes you not a good friend or family member or whoever. Like, you're supposed to be supporting me in this tough
And
time.
like, again, it's like children. Like, when they're mad, when a child is mad, you cannot speak reason to said child. And that's how I feel like I am. Like when I'm seeing red, I'm seeing red. Like I'm not going to see the reasoning behind this or like the positivity right now. Like I am going to explode and I'm going to live in that explosion for a while. And then maybe later I'll see reason. And you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I just don't want to. I don't feel like there is anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I think it's healthy. No, I think it's healthy to have those little explosions every now and then. Because if not, you're just holding stuff in and then you're going to have a big explosion and it's not good for your health. This is what I keep telling everyone when they try
It's
to
so
suppress
true.
their anger. And I'm like, it's better just to feel it and get
Yeah.
over it, you know?
Also, I don't feel like you should be steamrolled into feeling okay with something bad happening to you. Like, you don't have to accept that as being okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And I think when that happens, it's important to tell people, like, I understand your perspective of wanting everything to be positive, but right now, what I need is to complain. And I
Mhm.
just want you to listen. Also, like, don't offer me advice right now. Advice is great, but only when you
Yeah.
need it. Like, when you're ready for it. Like
Yeah.
you were saying, the stages, right?
No.
That is not stage one. Right now, I am complaining and my life is hard, and I just want you to like empathize with me and understand it from my point of view, even if whatever is happening to me feels
Hmm.
like nothing to you. Because I think, for example, one thing that comes to mind is like these people who have this productivity positivity where it's like, oh man, I feel so burnt out. Like I'm working so hard where I don't have enough time to do this. And then someone's like, but we all have 24 hours in the day, and I'm able to do, all these things because I plan ahead and I just really try to prioritize things. And it's like, oh my
Oh my
God,
gosh.
just shut up.
Yeah.
You are
That's
not
another one
helping.
that I really dislike is that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. No, we don't, actually. We don't. Some people have jobs where they can just like chill for half the day and then they're at home so then they can do a bunch of stuff at home. We don't all have that luxury, okay? And then also, I have kids. So again, my free
Yeah.
time is me doing stuff for them. It's not about me doing stuff. Like my 24 hours that I get to do anything for myself is like from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, what am I supposed to accomplish in 1 hour a day? So, no. No. I don't agree.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's also like, yeah, and people just being like, "Oh, I do all of these things," and then they minimize like your life. it's like, sorry, I don't have like a finance job where I work 80 hours a week. And so to you, it seems like my struggles don't mean anything. Or I'm sorry, I don't have kids and I feel, and I'm complaining and now you're
Yeah.
making me feel bad. Like, no, like I also have my own struggles and you can't be
Yeah.
minimizing that, you
Oh,
know?
I remember when I didn't have kids, um, I had friends that had kids, and only one friend, I've talked about this person before who isn't really a friend anymore. But I remember her one time, I was just like, oh, I'm really tired today, like whatever. And she was like, you don't even know what tired is. And I was like, yeah, I do because I'm tired right now. And even to this day, I'm like,
Ugh,
okay, just because someone doesn't have kids doesn't mean that they're not tired. Like that doesn't matter because you're tired just because you're tired. Like having kids doesn't make you automatically more tired than everybody else. Like get off your high horse. Ugh, I hate that. It's not a competition.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
so annoying. Yeah, exactly. Like people are always trying to glorify
Yeah.
burnout and stuff. And those people who are like, "Well, just stay positive, just smile more." And it's just like
Yeah.
I am going to punch you in the
Yeah.
face if you
It's
say
not
that
helpful.
again. Or like, another thing that I'm thinking about is when you're complaining about something and people are like, well, have you thought about how you should be grateful because you have these other things in your life? And it's like, I know it's not that I'm not grateful, but this particular part of my life right
Yeah.
now really sucks. So you don't have to be reminding me of everything else and minimize how I feel about this particular part of my life. That's also another thing that it's just like, okay, not everything
Yeah.
correlates. So I don't
Right.
understand like what your point is. And I guess another thing now that we live in social media as well, we only see the positive things
Hmm.
in people's lives. So there's also this feeling that we're not achieving enough and like all these people seem to tell you like, oh, life is so beautiful, life is perfect, and then it just makes you feel bad when you feel bad about something in your life, and it's like that is wrong. Though that is one thing that I really despise about social media and how it brings this like super positivity culture sometimes. And it's like, well, life is messy and it's negative sometimes, and we don't really, we're not allowed to feel that or express
Yeah,
that.
you're right. Yeah, social media has been great for a lot of things, but it's also been really bad for a lot of things too. It definitely like life is not all rainbows and butterflies, like I was saying. And people are never gonna show you the sad part of their lives or the hard parts of your lives, like because nobody really wants to share that. Like I don't want to share that. Of course, nobody does. So that's why you have to be really careful with social media. I mean, you have to keep in mind that these people are having a good moment right now, but last week they might not have been, next week might not be good, and they're never going to tell you that, oh, well, last week was hard. They're never going to say that, or hardly ever. It's refreshing when you see social media content, people being like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, it was really hard last week with whatever, but you just have to always keep that in mind. Yeah, another one that I hear a lot is like God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. And that one also makes me mad because that has nothing to do with it. Like sometimes you're just bad stuff just happens. I don't even know how to explain that one away, but it drives me nuts because that's just like you're just trying to justify something because you don't have anything better to say. And that's like sometimes just be like, you know what? I don't know what to say here. Like I'm sorry, but I just don't know what to say. And I feel like that would be better than getting some BS one-liner that you read online.
Yeah. And then just asking people how you can best support them through a tough time. I mean, that's perfectly okay. Versus just imposing this positivity on people, saying things like, oh, have you tried gratitude? Or at least it isn't any worse. Or other people have it worse, Like none of those statements are helpful And it's not helpful to demand positivity from
No, it's
people.
not. It's like you don't hear. It's like it almost reminds me of like speed dating, but it's like speed healing. Like you want someone to like hurry up and heal quickly when you say stuff like that. And it's like that's not how that works. Let's you got to let them be miserable in the moment. Like that's how I feel about myself. Like I just need to be miserable in the moment, and I will actually heal faster if I'm allowed to just have my mad feelings or my sad feelings, and then I'll be fine. But if you try to push me to be okay too quickly, that's just going to infuriate me. That's going to make it worse.
No, agreed. And I think another annoying thing is like when people in your life say things like, "Oh, don't be so negative." Like, "Oh, I don't want to hear negativity." Like, complaining is just what negative people do. And they're like, "No negativity allowed. We need to manifest." Like, yes, I do believe in manifesting and being positive that way, but I don't believe in telling people like, "Don't bring your negative feelings here." Like, ugh, or because we need to be able to complain and like tell things to our family, to our friends, even in the workplace where there's people like, no negativity in this office, but it's like, hello, Heather, everything is
If
falling
it's all
apart.
on fire behind you.
So we can't just be in
Yeah,
denial. When does toxic positivity become delusion, and denial?
that's so true. That's a very good question. Yeah. Like manifest
Yeah.
abundance after you've lost your job. And it's like, what? What do you mean? That's not helpful.
Yeah. Exactly. Or if you've gone through a breakup and people are like, if it's meant to be, it'll work out. Or like everything happens for the best. And
Yeah. Or like, oh, at least you know now. It's like, okay, like if they cheated on them or something, and you're like, well, at least you know now rather than later. And it's like, okay, how would that make it better late? Like, would it be worse later? Probably not. It'd still be just as bad, you know? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, exactly. And it's just like, not every inconvenience is a growth opportunity. You know what I mean? Just let me be dramatic in peace.
Like I feel like if you don't know what to say, you could just be like, you know what? This sucks. I see you that this sucks. I don't have anything helpful that I could say to you right now, but I'll help you get through it. If you just want to sit here and you want to complain, I'm here to listen to you complain. That's it. Like, but don't be like, don't be negative. You got to validate people's feelings. You got to listen. You got to sit with the discomfort with them, even if it's uncomfortable for you, because it's not about you right now. It's about that person.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, just ask them how you can
Mm-hmm.
assist them in the moment. Don't be giving advice that they don't ask for. I think that's what could make
Yeah.
that relationship better. Because it happens everywhere, right? Like in your family, with your friends, colleagues, everything. And we need to learn how to better support people and how to ask for what we need in the moment. Because it's okay to feel these bad feelings, to get angry, to get upset, to get disappointed, to get sad.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? Sometimes life is terrible for a minute. And maybe instead of a quote, what we need is a taco, a nap, and someone to say, yeah, this sucks. Doesn't that sound lovely? Actually.
Yeah, and
Yes, and
tequila.
tequila or whatever your drink of choice is. Margaritas. I
Margaritas,
do feel like
yes.
most toxic positive people aren't trying to be mean. Like I feel like they mean well, but they're just like really uncomfortable with dealing with hard emotions. So I feel like if you're hit with somebody like that that's just trying to be all positive, I think you just need to be like, you know what? I know that you mean well, but that's not what I need right now. I need you to just listen, and I just want to vent. I don't want you to come up with a solution for me. I just want you to let me be mad or sad or whatever. Because people don't always need a solution. Sometimes they just need someone to sit there and agree that life is weird and awful, and that's the best support that you can give them at the time.
Yeah, 100%. I guess now from our listeners, we want to hear from you. What do you think about this topic? Have you encountered toxic positive people in your life and how have you dealt with
Let
it?
us know. We definitely want to know.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of the WPS podcast. We said it so you didn't have to. We'll see you next time.